Do you think there's enough Do you think they're represented well?
To be honest, I was younger when I saw that.
My name is Ray Khan, and I am a VTuber, which stands for Virtual YouTuber. And I create content that revolves around literature primarily, and teaching writers how to write literary fiction. And I'm also a media critic. And I do that by analyzing the cultural side of media rather than on the nose production values and all that. I focus more on audience retention, audience feedback, and the subtext of the media that I am criticizing. And as a person with disabilities myself, and as a trans woman, trans and non-binary woman, I have a unique perspective than most people in my audience and lookalike audiences to consider perspectives like mine. And being able to give people a platform in that kind of way helps spread awareness.
My name is Sanah. I am 25 years old. My disability is cerebral palsy, but I have a speech impediment, which is a stammer.
I'm autistic and I'm intersex and I'm a woman of color.
If there's not accurate representation, it doesn't only affect the public and the media's attitudes, which then is a vicious circle, because then those attitudes feed into the representation of future film and TV.
Disabled people are represented well in film? I'm gonna have to say with a flat out no.
To be a strong no for me.
No, I don't.
Certain narratives tend to be told about disabled people. So the two typical stereotypes are the disabled person who people tend to pity, who they feel sorry for, and then the second stereotype tends to be somebody who kind of overcomes their disability.
There's a lot of different things in cinema in particular that add to the portrayal of it. Like lighting can be a big thing. So if you have dark lighting or lighting that brings a menacing outlook to someone with a psychiatric disorder, then you perpetuate a kind of antagonistic view of mental health.
The first scene that comes to mind, it's from this film called Stronger, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays this character who's been in some sort of accident, and they've had to have both their legs removed from, I think, the knee down or something. So there's this big scene where he overcomes his disability. So he walks from a car using prosthetic legs towards this woman who he really likes.
We just have a neutral character that it's not about their impairment, not at all, just about their life? Why does it have to be so focused on their impairment?
This is not intended when it was written, but Winnie the Pooh is a really good example of good mental health representation. And it's just fan speculation and just kind of a joke. And like you have Piglet with GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. You have Kanga with social anxiety, Rabbit with OCD, Eeyore with depressive disorder, Tigger with ADHD, and Owl with dyslexia. And I think if you view it in that kind of lens, with the disabled lens, and you're giving media critique and evaluation on like Winnie the Pooh, it's a very simple and basic example. And you look at how the characters are portrayed and their situations and how their characters develop every single episode and every single book that they're in, and every single deviation and aspects of what they are, you start to see a very positive representation there. The characters have a problem. All of them help each other through that to figure out that problem, and they aren't seen as lesser.
Me Before You, that was a shit representation, but I didn't.
Awful.
But I like the film called The Upside with Kevin Hart because I feel like it was represented well in there because
Is that with? Did that have
Bryan
can't
Cranston.
think of, yeah, Bryan Cranston. I haven't seen it.
I thought he was represented well in there because Cranston, the main character who's in the wheelchair, it showed a wide range of emotions. Whereas in Me
Yeah.
Before You, he was kind of like an emotionally dead character, and then she was bringing life to him. But in,
Oh yeah, just sadness, just deep sadness,
Yeah.
worthless life. Just because he had a spinal injury, that was it. Life done. I think it's got to be Me Before You, like we were discussing earlier, and it had the impact on me was frustration. Obviously negative because, like we were saying earlier, the depiction just wasn't great, and I think as well how it was kind of. Because obviously he went through with it, and then at the end it was still they were trying to push the narrative that it doesn't matter, it was a great love story. Yeah, no. It's when they went on their last holiday, wasn't it? And then she was trying to get him to change his mind, and he was like, no. And it's heart-wrenching.
yeah.
When whenever people play disabled characters, that's very problematic because, first of all, they don't have the lived experience to bring the nuances of being disabled to that character.
There's plenty of actors with impairments, of a whole range of impairments. There'll be actors with the specific impairment that producers and directors of TV shows are looking for to portray their characters, and I just think people with impairments, disabled people, should be given that opportunity.
The more meaningful stories about disability we can tell. Plus, I think we strongly, I think it would be very beneficial to have people who've actually have actually lived those experiences, telling those stories right from the start, like the writers, the producers, to the directors, to the people who are playing those roles, because then because then we can avoid like things like the whole CEO situation, because if we had people who have been through it, they would know what to avoid and what to do right. They need to stop being scared of the same people, because I think sometimes whenever bothered people see a disabled person, they don't really know how to talk to them or how to kind of interact with disabled people.
You do what you must to adapt, and you keep persisting, like water flowing through a river, and that stream encountering a mountain, water coming down through the water cycle, and then coming down through the mountain, from the mountain into the base. Uh, um, Eventually that mountain will erode because of all that water, and you can start to see canyons form if there's enough water going through those mountains for millions and millions of years. Those mountains will disappear because of all that water. And water is something that is very flexible, very soft, malleable, as Lao Tzu and Bruce Lee are saying. And if you yourself are water, with enough time, persistence, and without trying too hard, you can change very big, rigid things that are bigger than you. And of course, you don't do that alone. You do that with others, and no single water droplet, no single water particle erodes any kind of rock. It's always with other water particles.